Hello friends, welcome to channel Raise a Blade. I'm your friendly neighborhood Reza. I'm still working on Maniology Masterpiece Theater. We are on video 3 of 3. I don't remember exactly what this particular plate, number M276, I don't remember what the actual Maniology name of it is, but I think of this one as the actual Masterpieces plate. We've got some frames in here, and as you can probably tell by, what's her name? Flora from Primavera, Botticelli's huge piece. This is a close-up on her, and the piece is huge. So this particular frame, this is just for the style of the stamp. So just a heads up. It doesn't actually mean like this plate, the woman with an umbrella or parasol. This is Monet. This is not the full perspective of this particular artwork too. These are just tinier, smaller, etc. with frames on them to sort of fit more people's nails. So now that I have told you that bit, this one has multiple time periods, multiple East and West artwork. But anyway, so it's really fun. This is, I'm going to guess that this one is going to be the best seller of the 3. It's a pretty awesome plate. As I've talked to you about before in the previous 2 videos, this is 3 out of 3, as I've said. So if this is the first one you're seeing, you should go back and watch the other 2. But it's not a requirement, of course. Anyway, if it were a skull, it would work that way. There are requirements sometimes. Anyway, so you can do kind of minimalist sort of works, or like this one. I just did the painting in the middle, and then for the other fingers, I did just a simple French tip. I did the trick where you use the reinforcement thingies. Binder reinforcement things. I use those to get the picture. To get the shape. Anyway, that needs to focus. It doesn't like me. I'm not popular with my camera anymore. So anyway, that is what I've said. I'm not trying to get to the minis already, but I wanted to tell you, if you look at these and you see all sorts of stuff like, you know, I did spend an awful lot of time on this one, but don't think that you can't do this or use these plates because you don't want to do a full mani of super fancy Vincent van Gogh nails. You know, you don't have to do it like that. So from the beginner to, you know, the advanced person looking to sort of really put out that full Starry Night, I mean, that is a wow mani. And that was in the first video. So check that out. Anyway, so I will, as usual, show you the pictures, sort of on printer picture paper, like, you know, the artwork. I'll show you the stamping swatches on paper, which will show you how these are great plates. Maniology plates are all excellent quality. So, yeah, these really do stamp great. So next, I'll probably go through, I guess, and identify the works of art for you. And then I'll show you some pictures and go over my swatches and stuff with you. So anyway, of course, we've got the Mona Lisa here. Da Vinci's early 1500s piece. Sorry. I dropped my notes. What else do we have? Sandro Botticelli's, what is it? This one called Primavera, which is just springtime. So this is the detail of Flora. Did I tell you? Okay, Flora is like 1400, second half. So that's when Primavera was done. You will know Botticelli, maybe he's an Italian Renaissance painter, and he did the Birth of Venus, the big famous one with her on the half shell. Next, we have a, this is indeed a, what's his name? Van Gogh, or Van Gogh. This is the night terrace, or cafe terrace at night, sorry. Really, really cool painting. So this is the 1500s ceiling fresco of that Michelangelo did of the Sistine Chapel. This is creation. It's really cool how they did this, how he did this way up on that ceiling. But you'll see this is different than how it is on the actual fresco, and I think what he's trying to do there, because it's supposed to be like they're almost touching God and Adam. So I think they're just doing this to sort of maybe show you that it should be done maybe on different nails, because you'll pull this off the stamp with some Scotch tape so that you only have the preferred hand showing. Another thing is, the reason these cracks are there is because the actual fresco is kind of cracked, or at least that's what my recollection is. So this is pretty cool that they included that sort of thing. Next, we have the Great Wave off Kanagawa. This is a woodcut done by Hokusai, and this is actually from the late Edo period. What is that? Hold on. I remembered late Edo, but I didn't remember the year. 1831. So really fun, cool thing. This is the signature on a Japanese woodcut print. And usually you'll notice it because it's red, or part of it's red. Now this one isn't, and it's not on the pictures I have. And I don't know the answer to that. But they usually, those hand-carved signature stamps are usually done in red, or at least half of it is. So, really awesome thing about this is sort of a trivia thing maybe, but there's something called the golden ratio, or the golden spiral. Also the Fibonacci sequence, if I recall correctly. Not a mathematician, sorry. But the golden ratio, this is exactly right. So when mathematicians look at paintings and stuff and they try to apply the golden ratio, this is one of the works that people point to say, we do have a sense of the golden ratio. We do have a sense of the perfect proportion. Anyway, after that, if you want to see the actual golden ratio, it's on the Hit the Bottles for the Love of Science plate. Now, this is a segment or a section of Henri Rousseau's The Dream. That's a 1910 piece. Thing about this is I'm super glad you'll see when there's some not quite respectful treatment of Aboriginal peoples in this particular, or First Nation peoples in this particular painting. But you can only see the really cool part. I think it's the cool part. So this could be like a cool multi-nail, or you could just do that center of it. Lots of options here as well. So over here, we're going to come back to is this Milkmaid or what? Milkmaid, yeah. So this one's 1665 plus 2 or 3. And then Girl with Pearl Earring is 1665. And also by Vermeer. Very cool one. I did this on its own nail. I'll show you in a minute. Now this is by a Frenchman whose last name was Fragonard. I don't know why I said it like this. It's actually Fragonard. But this is a Rococo piece, and we don't have any other Rococo works on this particular stamping plate. So that's pretty neat. This is an Impressionist work by Claude Monet. And I think I mentioned it earlier. It's Woman with Parasol from 1895. Here's one of Monet's Waterlilies paintings. I think he did a couple hundred plus of them. But this one is, I wrote down the year. Oh, so his pond was in Giverny and it was 1899. I was thinking of it as 1900 and I was wrong. So I'm glad I checked. Anyway, this is the Scream. I talked about it in the first video a little bit because it's an expressionist painting where you can see the way that feeling and emotion really alters the otherwise representative kind of painting that you would see. So there's distortion and there's very interesting color, and that's supposed to evoke the feeling. And so that's why we call that expressionism. So otherwise it would just be lumped in with the post-impressionists before we got to modern art. I'm done with these. So now I shall show you pictures and then I will explain what I have done with my nail art this time. So this one I wanted to show you because the swing, Fragonard's The Swing, has been kind of used as fun kind of copying. Well, not copying, you know what I mean, a reference. Here is an alternate coloring of the Scream. I really do like that. Here's the Milkmaid. This is Dutch Master Vermeer. This is... Look at those cracks and look at that beautiful, huge fresco on a ceiling. So here's Creation, and that's Michelangelo. And here is the bridge, the Waterlily Bridge. I don't remember exactly what this one's called. I think I just told you. Bridge over a pond of water lilies. Why did I think it was anything more complicated than that? And here is the Monet painting of his wife and his son. You can see all these little dabs that I talked about in the first video. All of these little points, you can see those teeny brush strokes, and there are so many thousands of them to make a picture, a whole painting. So really cool concept. It's how I did this one. I talked about a dabbing unicorn in the last video. But anyway, so you just... all these different colors, dab, and I change color, and I'll just start dabbing all over again. Change color, dab all over again. I used a lot of different layers of color and stuff. Sorry about my cuticle. I'm having an inflammation period in my life. So anyway, yeah, here's the actual water lilies. We've got some... what's the word? Iridescence that's not in the painting, but it is in my polish colors. I really liked this pair. This is the new set from Maniology with their flaky polish. Three come in the set, and it's Robin's Egg. And then this is a graceful that they might still have some in the US store. I don't know, but you can see this. It's a blue with a lovely green gold opalescence, iridescence, whatever. And this one's called Tranquil Gardens, I think. Anyway, so that's how I did this particular Mani. And I didn't color the Mona Lisa right just because there's not a lot of... it's a lot easier to see an image when you stamp it in, when you color it in reverse stamping, if there's high contrast. So let's say there's black lines, so you wouldn't want to put a dark brown inside there. You'd want to put like a light brown inside there if you could choose. So I kind of changed. I took liberty with the colors because, of course, this is nail art. And then here's Fragonard's The Swing. So if the whole thing. So you see her dress, definitely Rococo. I was going to show you, go back to these other works referenced. Here is the Cafe Terrace at night. We've got all sorts of, I think I've talked about this in one of the earlier videos. We've got all sorts of kind of a Andy Warhol-like display of the different color options. Here is the Great Wave. The last plate I had of this that carried this one was a Messy Mansion plate, and I think they've gone out of business. So here's the more realistic, this is the true colors of the painting for the Cafe Terrace at night. And here's the colors of Munch's original The Scream. Look at how cool that is. You can really feel the anxiety there. You can just, I can feel it. Here is The Rite of Spring or Primavera. I used to have a puzzle that was this whole painting, but here's the kind of nerd I was for when I was 8. And it had so many, and it was super small and had so many tiny, tiny pieces. It was one of those ones where once you put it together, you really kind of want to Mod Podge it and hang it up. Anyway, so here are the 3 Graces, and then here is Primavera. I forget who everyone else is, but that's fine. You can look it up. It'll show you somewhere. Here is Girl with the Pearl Earring, and there's the close-up of Flora. I think everything else is on this page. Here we go. Here is that painting I talked about of Henri Rousseau. We've got it's supposed to be, I think, some Mexican royalty in a story that he thought up for the painting, maybe. This I read ages. I should have not relied upon my memory. I'm sorry. I should have taken notes about this. And then that's it for the reference paintings, reference pictures. So now I can show you all of my nail art. So I did the Girl with the Pearl Earring more realistically colored in on a swatch. This is a simple reverse stamping. And then with the Scream, I did that. This is the top of it, but these were shorter nails, so I used this as kind of a not complementing, you know, like an accessory, but more like a sweater set. Anyway, whatever word I'm looking for, I wanted that to kind of accent that, like these French tips and this painting. Anyway, so I like these alternate colors. Here we've got the Mona Lisa-ish. Then we have the Great Wave. I really enjoyed doing this one. And then here is what, first I'll show you these. So my concept with these is to do a sepia toned masterpieces collection and then have the velvet stanchions that they have at museums, those hanging rope things. And I wanted to have that below each one, kind of a rope, an exhibit rope. But I chose a tip that was just not too long. I wanted to try out this tip. So I did make a version of that for the people who wanted to see that. What I did to get this rope, okay, so I hastily colored in the Mona Lisa in some non-Mona Lisa-y colors. But what I did to make this, you will never guess what I did to make this rope. I took this Kandinsky piece of artwork. I stole this. So I scotch taped everything I didn't need off of it, and I scotch taped, you know, I got rid of this bit so that I just had this. And in order to give it dimension, I made it darker on the bottom to color in and then lighter on the top to kind of make it look 3D. And then once it was on the swatch stick, I then hand painted little gold bits at the very edge. And then this particular swatch is mattified, and that is how I did that. If you want museum stanchions in your Mani, go for it. And then once more, here is my Cafe Terrace at Night super neon version. I added the I Am Enough. This background is the parchment paper smush that I tell you about that I do so often. I've shown you a few times, but I don't remember in which videos. I am sorry. So this I Am Enough, it's my own edition. I face my own weaknesses and things. I always would love to be told I am enough. And I use this from a creative shop plate that I recently got. If I find it, I will write down the plate number for you in the description box, but I actually don't know where it is exactly right now. So I think I told you all the things. Now I wanted to take a minute, now that you've watched all 3 of these, to say kind of a real talk situation. It took me forever to do these in reproduction, like the full reproductions that I attempted, contrasting like my normal mani that I might normally even spend a lot of time doing reverse stamping. These really took a while. So a more time efficient way to do this, I really do recommend that, you know, this is a totally valid way to go, to just do one work of art and then, you know, all the other nails to be something that you think is pretty. It doesn't even have to be a French tip. It can just be a single color. You know, you do what you want, but don't feel not enough. You know, if that doesn't appeal to you, it's not going to appeal to everybody. It wouldn't appeal to me all the time. If I had to just always, whenever I use this plate, do all the work that I did for this, no, that's not what I want. Anyway, but I just think it's totally a valid way to do it. And I like that there are so many options and so many different ways to go, whether it's different new colors, craziness, or whether you're really trying to exactly copy the work of art, you know. Next week, I will be streaming again, live stream if you just want to hang out with me. And while I do some nail art, I do this twice a month. So Sunday at 4:30 Central Time in the US. Also, next videos, like, comment, subscribe, please, please, please. And, you know, please do comment if you liked anything specific here. I know that I did. It took me a while, so I'd love to hear what you think. Also, we have a few different things in the percolator right now. Those AliExpress plates, I'm always getting new ones of those. I'm still looking at that next color video. Just my brainstorming is just sort of a food processor. So things will come, I promise. Subscribe and get those notifications. And I hope you all have a wonderful time with these plates or whatever you're doing nail art with right now. Have an awesome day. And I'll catch you later.